Welcome, friends, followers, and fellow book lovers. I'm excited to bring you this new episode where I share with you a book I've recently read. Today's book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And this is what it looks like. I got to tell you that, as you can see, I made a bunch of notes. So why this book? I read this book because, one, it was the book of the month for with my partners. And number two, a friend of mine, Cheryl, has talked about it several times. And number three, I was curious about the things that James taught and why he called it Atomic Habits. So, three leadership principles is leaders make change happen, leaders break incorrect habits, and leaders build better habits. And I really had no idea what this book was going to be about, what would be encapsulated in it, the things that were taught. And I just got to say that I feel a little bit impressed with myself, because I've done some of these things without knowing and without getting as geeky and as scientific as James did. I mean, he clearly outmatched me, bar none. However, it was just very astonishing to me that someone else was more that my thinking was more in line with somebody else, and that he was more scientific. And I'm don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to say, look at me. I'm trying to say, wow, I was thinking like a smarter person. And it made me feel really good about some of the minor things I've changed in my life, and why I stopped practicing New Year's resolutions. If you've been following me for a while, that's something I've talked about in the past, is I don't do New Year's resolutions. There's no resolution for Will Becker for, to start January 2023 off. I have been following this concept, which now I'm going to have to refine and improve upon, because James does such a fantastic job in his book in really breaking it down, making it scientific, really, really just get nerdy with it, if you will. So, all right, the first thing I want to share out of here is an atomic habit refers to a tiny change, a marginal gain, a 1% improvement. They are little habits that are part of a larger system. Just as atoms are the building blocks of molecules, atomic habits are the building blocks of remarkable results. Now, let me tell you how this got started for me, because I want you to read James's book to get his details and the way that he talks about it. I remember losing something as a kid, and I don't know if it was a wallet. I don't know if it was a toy. I don't know what it was anymore. It's been too long. But my dad said, well, if you don't want to lose it, then find a place to put it and always put it in that place. So I did. I started creating places to put things, and then we'd move, and then I'd have to do it all over again and find out where that was supposed to be at, and put those things together and kind of adjust for those changes. But what eventually happened is it started to evolve outside of just, where's that thing? Where did I put my stuff? To, oh, well, if I just do this little change, then this will make this easier. And I think one thing I've talked about on my channel before, and on this podcast before, is my boy's noisemaker. We have a half wall in our kitchen area, and I walk through the kitchen a couple times through the evening, and I have the iPod that plays their noisemaker music sitting on that half wall because one likes to go to sleep to handle, and then I switch it over to ocean waves for the rest of the night, and I leave it where I can find it, or where I'm going to see it, I should say, over and over again. And so it's a little, oh, is it after 10 o'clock yet? No. Okay. Oh, it's after 10 o'clock. Let me change that over, plug it back in. So that's the idea. Little changes, little things that we can do in our environment, in the way that we do things to help alter and improve our habits. All right, number two, the second part. The first law of behavior change is to make it obvious. Strategies like implementation, intentions, and habit stacking are among the most practical way, the most practical way to create obvious cues to your habits and design a clear plan for when and where to take action. Now, for me, I put this to work for myself in getting clothes ready for the next day. If the next day is a work day, then I put out clothes. I pick everything the night before so that I just get up and get dressed. There's no thought of, what am I going to do? Man, I'm yawning tonight. So I set those things out. I pick my shirt, I put everything in its place so that I can get dressed in the morning. And my wife is not a morning person, and I get up usually 2 or more hours before her. And so the lights tend to stay off in our room so that she can sleep. And I just know where everything's at. But that's the intention of putting things in place and habit stacking and, making those adjustments. Excuse me. In the book, one of the things that James talks about is he talks about how, if you want to learn to run, if you want to put running back into your routine, sleep in your gym clothes or sleep in your running shorts, put your socks and shoes there where you put your feet when you get up in the morning. And like just you do things like that to create those cues, as he says, to build habits. And I just love it. All right, the third thing I'm going to share. The central idea is to create an environment where doing the right thing is as easy as possible. Much of the battle of building better habits comes down to finding ways to reduce the friction associated with our good habits and increase the friction associated with our bad habits or our bad ones, as he says. And that can be, man, there is so many ways that we can stack stuff and we can alternate things. And for each one of us, it's going to be different things. It's going to be different things that you need to change, that you need to adjust. So that way it provides you with the best optimization for what your needs are, the things that you want to adjust and change, one of my bad habits is if I'm going to the grocery store after work, there's probably going to be a pint of ice cream that gets in the car with me. What I'm working on, because that's not a good one to continue. All right. Number 4, incentives can start a habit. Identity sustains a habit. Now, I've talked about Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That is coming up in the future. That book review is already done. It's on my YouTube channel. I will be publishing it here in the future. Here's the thing, is you become what you envision yourself as being, or the person that you envision yourself becoming. That's who you become. And that I can't even put into words what that's like to look back over 5, 10, 15, almost, well, I'll say probably close to 35 years from myself. The person that I was to the person I am today, it's that small accumulation of changes over time. And I know getting started, that can be so painful because you see the same mistake, you see the same mistake, you see the same mistake. And then you figure out how to defeat that. And then you do it. You know, as you can tell, one of the things I battle, well, actually, if you're on the podcast, you can't see this, but one of the things I've dealt with is my weight and figuring out how to beat those bad habits and things. Man, some days I have spectacular days. And other days, yeah, they're not so good. But that's okay because I have the vision of what I want in my mind and I'm constantly looking to make those changes. So get that identity, go back to Stephen Covey's 7 Habits, figure out how you want to be remembered and just start working on that. You guys can totally do this. It may seem impossible to get started. It's worth it in the long run. I promise you. No matter how old you are, it's worth it. All right, number 5. Whenever you feel authentic and genuine, you are headed in the right direction. Now, as I was flipping through this book to look at the places I flagged to talk about, this is one that I absolutely had to go ahead and put in here. And the reason is this is a journey that I have had to go on for myself, is to find that personal authenticity in me. I remember thinking I was so smart in high school, not realizing how many people could actually see through a high school facade, that what you think you're doing in high school and your toughness and like trying to be whatever. Yeah. Let me tell you what though. Doing video and doing these in one take has really helped me be more authentically myself. No edits, one take. That's just how I decided to do it as part of my messaging, as part of who I am. And I know, like, if I was doing something longer form or, something more complicated to talk about, then yeah, I might need to do something like that. But I'll try to keep it simple for myself. So, all right, the last one. Life is constantly changing, so you need to periodically check in to see if your old habits and beliefs are still serving you. A lack of self-awareness is poison. Reflection and review is the antidote. And I got to tell you guys, I absolutely tell you guys that if you're not constantly checking on yourself, and that can be so many different that can be interpreted or looked at so many different ways. You can be really scientific and really break it down, get James's printouts and really get into the super nerdiness of that. Or you can just keep it general and kind of ballpark stuff. But, Ben Franklin kept just a notebook and he would mark, check mark when he did well here or a comment when he did poorly. So yeah, it's really what works for you. And then just keep going at it. Just keep working on yourself to figure out like what is the thing that works best. What is the thing that's going to help to fix this, to correct this, to fine tune this or that. And I mean that goes from everything from nutrition to health to reading, listening, associating, finding the right things for you. So, all right. I highly recommend go out and get James Clear's Atomic Habits. And I hope that you will find the power in it that I did and that my friend Cheryl did. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and share it. If you are looking for someone to help you level up your leadership and people skills, That's what I do with Turning Leaf Solutions. I like to call myself a transition coach. When you feel stuck in your career and you're not making advancements, or you're not moving in a way that you feel is best for your long-term career goals, then I can help you with that. You can connect with me at turningleafs.com. That's LEAFS.com. There's a link right there in the center of the homepage to book a free consultation. All right, my friends. Hope you guys go out and make it a great week. I hope you guys go out and make it a great 2023. I will catch you later.